Okay, y'all, today I have my top 10 designer date night fragrances that women absolutely love. And these fragrances have been tested, y'all. I've worn these in a number of different date night situations over the years, and time again, they continue to come through, get the job done. So, if you're planning to go on a date anytime soon and you want to smell amazing and get those compliments, you're going to want to check out the fragrances on this list. And no matter your scent preference or budget, I'm pretty sure I'll have something on this list that'll work for you. So with that, let's jump into it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well. My name is Ty, and here I primarily talk about fragrances, but we also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So the primary purpose is to help you show up as your best self day in and day out by looking good, smelling good, and feeling good. Y'all know the vibes, man. So do me a favor, if you're interested in those type of videos, subscribe below for weekly fashion and fragrance content. Then make sure you hit that bell to stay notified anytime I post any new videos. Okay, we're gonna get things kicked off with an honorable mention, y'all, and it comes from Valentino. It's Born in Roma Uomo, Yellow Dream. Y'all, this one is a sleeper, but it's a banger from the line. It's my favorite. It's actually my favorite scent profile from the line, y'all. I know there's some other heavy hitters, but this one's my favorite, and I feel like it's slept on. This one opens up, it's citrusy. You also get pineapple in here as well. I think you get some floral notes through the heart, but then as it dries down, you get this vanilla, cedar wood, and you also get spices. So you get cinnamon in here, and also this really nice gingerbread accord, which is sort of spicy and a little sweet at the same time. But I love this one, y'all. I think it should get much more credit and much more hype because it's good, especially if you're looking for something that, you know, transitions from fresh to warm and sweet. So if you're in a situation where you're going out, you know, maybe and it's warmer, but it's going to get cooler, perfect. This is perfect for those situations, y'all. So honorable mention, but man, oh man, is it good. My favorite from the Born in Roma line, Yellow Dream. Okay, y'all, next up we have an OG that's been around forever, but it's still just as good as when it first came out. Got YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme. This is the EDT, another EDT that performs pretty well. And what you get with this one, y'all, it's all about that cardamom. So it's a light, sweet, but kind of fresh spice that you get throughout. You get some woody undertones. I think there's cedar, maybe some other woody notes in here as well. And then I don't think vanilla is listed, but you do get a bit more, you know, sweetness and warmth as it dries down. So just a great date night fragrance, y'all. This is one that I've been wearing for a while. I don't know how many bottles I've went through at this point, but I picked this one up I think at the end of last year. So super good for date night, on the affordable side, especially if you get it from discounters, and one that just does not miss, y'all. Check this one out if you haven't already. La Nuit de l'Homme. Okay, y'all, this next one my fiance absolutely loves, and I love it as well. Comes from Tom Ford. It's Noir Extreme. Man, oh man, y'all, this one here, I still remember when I first smelled this one, and just being so intrigued by it. I was blown away, right? And to an extent, I still feel that way, especially when, you know, comparing it to other, you know, designer fragrances that are on the market, right? This one is a masterpiece. There's a lot of different things going on, but it comes together so well. So this one has that coffee note in here that, you know, is a dessert note. I think it's a, you know, sort of like a sweet, salty pistachio style ice cream from what I remember. But then this has a lot of florals as well. You get rose, you get jasmine, orange blossom. And as it dries down, what it's all about is that amber and vanilla. You get some sandalwood as well, but just such a beautiful fragrance, y'all. One that is a little bold, a little daring, a little bit mysterious even, a little dark, right? But all at the same time, it's still very, you know, likable and enjoyable, and one that brings in a ton of compliments and is an amazing choice for date night. So if you haven't tried this one already, y'all, get your nose on it. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Y'all, this next one is one of my favorite designer releases over the past few years, and it comes from JPJ. It's Le Male Elixir. Man, this one right here, y'all, so good for date nights. It opens up with a little bit of freshness, but almost immediately starts to dry down into something warmer and sweeter. So this one definitely is on the sweeter side, but it doesn't go too sweet. So you get some, you know, benzoin in here. You also do get a hefty dose of vanilla. You also get some tonka bean that also gives it this sort of powdery and even chocolatey feel, I feel like, in this one. But then you get honey as well. And I really enjoy honey in fragrances because It gives a warmth, it gives a sweetness, but it never becomes like overly sweet, right? Like you typically get with a lot of, vanilla centric fragrances. So this one is really nice, y'all. Perfect for date nights because it has really good performance as well. And trust me when I say, when you wear this one, the women are going to enjoy it. It definitely is gourmand leaning, so it's going to have you smelling very edible. If you're into that, check this one out. JPJ Le Male Elixir. Okay, y'all, this next one is a discontinued gem now, which is unfortunate, but one of my favorites is Armani Code Absolute Gold. Man, this one is so good here, y'all. And it definitely resembles some of the other within the Armani Code line, but it actually reminds me a lot of the last fragrance I talked about, JPJ's Le Male Elixir, because what you get with this one as it dries down is this really nice warmth from benzoin and tonka bean. So it's powdery, but this one does have iris, so it's a bit more powdery and to me a little more elevated even, right? You also get saffron in this one, so it gives it this spice and a bit of an intriguing vibe, which is a really nice flair in here. And it's just such a shame this one was discontinued, y'all, because it's one of the best from the line in my opinion and my favorite for sure. So works so well for date nights because it performs very well, but again, it's powdery, it's a little sweet, but it's also a little spicy. Kind of gives you everything within one, but even more than that, y'all, it just gives this elevated feel to it, at least in my honest opinion. Feels very elevated, very put together. So I like wearing this one when I'm a bit more dressed up or even a bit more formal. So definitely one that I'm glad to have in my collection. We're about halfway through the list, y'all. We're going back to Tom Ford for this next one. I just feel like he does date night sensual fragrances so well. This is one of my all-time favorites here. We have Oud Wood. Oud Wood, y'all. And what I'll say about this one is this is like the perfect entry-level oud fragrance, but not based on price because this one is expensive, but based on how the oud comes across in here, right? So it's not too off-putting. It's not too, dirty or animalic or stinky smelling. It's more of just a, kind of mysterious, deeper, darker, woody note that you get in here. And you get that mixed with some vanilla, some tonka, some cardamom, so some sweet spice going on. And it just comes together so well. Such a highly complimented fragrance in my collection. I feel like I'm always complimented when I wear this one, but especially when I'm going out on date nights. And it's just well done, y'all. And I know a lot of people may complain about the performance, but I've always gotten solid performance out of it. At least 6-7 hours of longevity. Good projection for the first hour or so, but then it definitely does start to sit a little closer to skin. But to me, that's never a bad thing, especially with a fragrance like this, right? Me personally, like I said, especially going out on a date, I don't need my fragrance showing up to a restaurant or a situation before I do, right? Rather it be, a bit more sitting with me, flowing with me, and, once someone, comes a little closer, they could smell it, versus it being off-putting and, they can smell it from 10 feet away. So I think this one does everything it needs to do for a date night fragrance, and it's one of my all-time favorites, and it's none other than Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Okay, this next one is from Givenchy, and it's Gentleman Reserve Privé. And this one here, of course, has that iris note, and I know iris might be hit or miss, love, hate for some people, but I will say, of all the iris fragrances that are out there on the market, this is probably my favorite, or at least one of my favorites, y'all. Because it definitely gives that, slightly powdery, I know some people will say lipsticky vibe, I guess. But it has a lot of other elements that I think make this one so much, more unique and just wearable in my opinion. So you also get, this boozy note that's in this one from whiskey. As it dries down, you get some more warmth, you get some, woody notes in this one as well. So there's a lot more going on in this one than just iris alone. But iris is kind of at the center of everything, if that makes sense. But if you're someone, like I said, that just wants something that's a bit different, maybe you're usually just wearing, the typical kind of designer fragrances with, some vanilla or just kind of warm, spicy, anything like that, I would say definitely give this one a chance, y'all. I think it's a great addition to anyone's collection. If you don't own any iris fragrances, it's a good start. I would say it's definitely a good start to kind of dip your toe in, see if it's something that you like or want to continue to experience. And it's one that works so well, very sensual, it's perfect for date nights, y'all. Women absolutely love this one. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. Okay, y'all, next up we have YSL Myself Le Parfum. Not too much to say here. I feel like I talk about this one so much, y'all. One of the best designer fragrances that you can get on the market today. I think this is so much better than the EDP, especially when considering, date nights or, for the evening, because you still get that orange blossom that this one is known for. So it's fresh, slightly sweet, but then it dries down with so much more warmth, vanilla, you get some woody notes. You also get some spices in here as well. So well done, y'all. Can literally wear it for a date night at any time throughout the year, right? Works well in warmer weather, cooler weather, and it just smells so good. One of the most complimented fragrances in my entire collection, period, but especially good for date nights, y'all. A can't miss, easy to grab, dumb reach, works so well. Just check it out if you haven't, y'all. Myself Le Parfum. Okay, y'all, just a few fragrances remaining, and next up we're going to Paco Rabanne with 1 Million Lucky. This one is a classic. This one is so good, y'all. My favorite from the entire 1 Million line, and it just works so well, kind of like I mentioned earlier with Valentino's Born in Roma Yellow Dream. If you ever need a fragrance to go from day to night or from slightly warmer to cooler, it's transitioned so well because it starts off a little fresh. Then as it dries down, it starts to get warmer and sweeter. You get plum, you get hazelnut, so it's fruity, slightly tart, a little nutty, but then it dries down, you get sort of a vanillic-like sweetness. Just extremely well done, y'all. And I don't know if there's been a time that I've worn this one and someone hasn't complimented me. It's that good, y'all. It's like a no-brainer if you don't have it in your collection. Would highly recommend you check it out. Consider adding it. 1 Million Lucky. Okay, y'all, next up we have Stronger With You, but it probably isn't the Stronger With You you're thinking of. This one's Stronger With You Amber. One of the newer, more exclusive releases that came out a couple years ago. Was kind of hard to get. Now I think it's a little more easily accessible. I picked this one up a while ago, y'all, and man, have been my favorite ever since because, like it sounds, it's similar to that original Stronger With You DNA, but it has this hefty dose of amber, making it so much warmer and just luxurious feeling, y'all, and just slightly elevated when comparing to the other Stronger With You fragrances. And it almost gives me the vibe of something like MFK's Grand Soir. Definitely not a dupe or a one-to-one in any way, but just, so much more of that amber focus. And I love amber fragrances, so again, easily my favorite from the line. And I think it's a great date night fragrance. It just smells so cozy, so warm, so inviting, and I'm telling you now, y'all, wear this one on your next date night and thank me later. Stronger With You Amber. Okay, and last but certainly not least, y'all, probably the best designer date night fragrance, especially when considering price. You picked this one up for around $50 on the discounters. Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP, a classic. This is a newer bottle for me. I actually finished one of my bottles earlier this year, so just such a great fragrance, y'all. It opens up slightly fresh. You get some citruses in there. But then as it dries down almost immediately, you get these woody notes and you get this ambery vanilla feel. So it's warm, sweet. It's just done so well, y'all. And I feel like it literally was made for date nights. Like that's the perfect use for it, y'all. Works so well, so highly complimented. It's just so easy to like. So if you're someone that for whatever reason you haven't smelled this one yet, you haven't checked it out, I don't recommend blind buying fragrances very often, but if you like warmer, sweeter fragrances and you're looking to spend around $50, I would highly recommend you just check this one out, y'all. Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video valuable, and then leave me a comment below. Let me know, what is your favorite designer date night fragrance?